there is potential for an issue. I'm getting some warnings over here. So let's just carry on and we'll see, but I will come back for sure. All right. So, what we got over here is DGODS has secured entire Bitcoin block. They were one of the first to actually mention this. And it is very impressive. It shows that Frank is ready to pull the trigger if he needs to. So he was able to secure 535 ordinal spots on the Bitcoin protocol, and going to be interesting to see what he does with it. But good that he secured them. He also was able to secure them under 100,000 satoshis, which is going to be notable. So they had to actually burn 535 original PFPs of DGODs, which obviously were in their community wallet, and they've now put them onto the Bitcoin blockchain through ordinals, which is very, very cool to see. I mean, effectively, they've been on Solana, moving to Polygon, and to Ethereum, and now they're also on Bitcoin. So he's definitely a bit of a blockchain hoe.
I like that.
It is cool. I like that also. I like that also.
Yo, comment below if you're a blockchain hoe as well. I'm a blockchain hoe. I'm down for it. I was in a Twitter space earlier today, and they were talking about like one of the guys was like, I'm actually gonna head out of NFTs. And he was, I'm gonna go back to crypto. He's like, this Web3 world is a bit different. And I was like, isn't Web3 everything? Like Web3 is the culture of decentralization. It's like the culture though. Like I know a lot of people focus on the tech stuff, but it's really about the culture. And that's why NFTs have taken off so far, and why I think they're have a much bigger lifespan and bigger size than crypto will ever have. And I don't even think it's close. But it was surprising to me that he said it in that way, because I was like, but Web3 is like an idea. It's like a whole thing, you know, like we have all these things we built on top of the idea, but Web3 as a concept is more of an idea of like, yo, people should be able to do this stuff. There should be a little bit more fairness across. It shouldn't be a top-down pyramid scheme 24/7 like the capitalistic system has set everything out to be, when we don't need it to be. When things are changing and things are getting better and faster and AI is out here, there's no reason not to take advantage of these things. And we will get to a point where it's easier and it's less friction and it'll make more sense. The incentivizations will be there by that time. The companies that have actual money and resources like the UFC or Disney or Nike, they'll finally have the things that are ready to go. And then the market will actually be ready to accept them. And it's going to be lit. But it was just surprising that he said it that way.
Yeah. No, look, I think this is great. I think all of this is the way to go. I think that the more experimentation and the more new things that are out there, the better. And I think that that's what being early is. So yeah, we did also speak in a lot of details about Bitcoin ordinals, Bitcoin NFTs. I'm not going to rehash anything. You guys are welcome to check out those videos. If we have a look over here, I'm going to toot my own horn. I'm not going to stand up and do a dance like Cade. Let me just put it out there. I'm not happy that this failed. I just knew that it was going to fail. And I told you 100% unequivocally before this happened that it was a complete and utter waste of $6 million. I was hoping that it wouldn't fail, even though I knew it would, because in the end of the day, we keep saying we want to bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. And, you know, these guys were trying to achieve that. But unfortunately, the execution was not there. I think the target market was not there, and it really, really didn't work out well. The first criticism is that it was a 10,000 NFT collection, of which only 4,000 were actually available to the public. That's number one. So why spend so much money to target the public and not have more NFTs available to them? The second thing is that when you went through to the QR code, if you did manage to get to the site, which a lot of people didn't, but if you did, you needed a wallet. And the average Web 2 person does not have a crypto wallet. So their plan was not anyway conducive to being able to get these NFTs into Web 2 people's hands. I know a lot of people who didn't realize, and they went home, like Web 3 people who didn't realize and then went home 20 minutes later and were still able to claim it because all 60 million viewers didn't have a crypto wallet. And even though a lot of them scanned their QR code, they didn't know what a crypto wallet was. So these didn't end up going into the hands of the people that they were intended to go up into. Also, though their advert was subpar, yes, it was a gaming type advert, but it didn't really capture the attention of a new market. And we have seen, unfortunately, the effects of this in the floor price across the entire ecosystem. The whole Digi-Daigaku ecosystem has really taken a knock. You know, Gabe here is doing a noble thing in that he's trying to onboard Web2 people into Web3. He wants gaming to move to Web3, and I'm grateful that we have people like him doing that. However, this was not the way, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, I was right. They completely threw away $6 million and possibly more because of the reputational damage that's been done.
Yeah, this was probably the worst thing that they could have done. Like it was painfully bad. I could not believe that it redirected them to his Twitter. And I know a lot of people were upset because they were like, this was our chance to get in front of the world. You were supposed to do this, you were supposed to do that. And to those people I say, well, first off, fuck off, because the man spent $7 million for his brand. So of course he's going to put his brand first. However, there was about 100 different things he could have done, and he picked none of them, and he chose to instead just link it to a random page with a QR code. It was terrible, dude. Why would you copy the exact same strategy that Coinbase did? Coinbase like had, you know, people sign up or whatever. It was like the biggest fucking worst. It was like terrible, dude. Like, I don't know. When you have an ad like that, if you're going to spend $7 million on an ad, you can't only have that available. There's no value exchange there. The only people who win is you. That's completely opposite of what Web3 is about. So if they were going to do a Super Bowl ad and they're like, well, it's going to be selfish too, because we're the ones paying $7 million. Like, okay, I'm cool with that. But you got to have something to offer them. And, you know, in their head, they're like, yeah, but they're going to get a free NFT. I'm like, nobody's going to get a free NFT. It's going to be a couple people like Nick who are ready for it, prepared, and like they were going to get it and they're going to sell the top and everybody else.
Yeah, so why target the Web2 market and spend $6 million when you could just target the Web3
I
market
think
and
they have
spend
a lot
nothing?
of fucking money, dude. I think they
You
have
know,
so much money.
bro, you don't have to throw it away. I'm sorry, they do have a lot of money, but you don't have to throw it away. I mean, in the end of the day, listen, we haven't given this a second thought, but I mean, just off the top of my head, have a fucking form that
Yeah.
someone fills out their name, their email address, their
Yes.
surname, and that's it. And then after the fact, okay, we got 2 million names.
That's
We're
so
gonna
much
give.
better.
We are gonna give 100,000 NFTs. We're gonna do a live stream where we're randomly selecting names.
Damn.
Everyone's gonna get an email with instructions on how to claim the NFT in their own time. It like whatever. If you want to onboard the masses, they did everything wrong. Everything wrong. Why spend $7 million and not even spend like $5,000 in thinking about it, how to do it properly? Now I'm sure they did think about it, but if this is the best that they could come up with, it's a pity because it's a lot of money. Even if you have a lot of money, $7 million is a lot of money.
Dude, that was very well put. The strategy you just gave was really fucking smart. I'm surprised they didn't come up with that, getting their email addresses, because now
Why
that's
not?
forever.
Yeah.
Now that's
And then
forever.
you've
You got
got that email address, and it allows you to roll it out at the right time without the person. So the person's entered, and now they get an email a few days later. Look, you got a week. This is how you can claim it if you won, and so on and so forth. Look, I don't charge $7 million for consulting. Something like that, a half an hour consultation to come up with something like that, you'd be looking about $2,000-3,000. And if you plan on spending $7 million, that $3,000 could make that $7 million go a lot further. So if you need anything, feel free to contact me, coldud@iafrica.com.
Yeah, that was rough, dude. I have a hard time coming with anything positive as well. Crypto Dream, I see your comment there. There was not a whole lot great about that. I swear to fucking God, we need to hash this out right here, right now. Was the ad not publicly stated that it would be at the halftime show? I swear to God that I went through a Mandela effect here, because I was 1000% sure it was at halftime. So sure, in fact, that instead of watching the first half, which I was gonna do, I ended up instead walking around and getting stoned and going to the gym and getting food, because that was the plan if I didn't watch the first half. And I'm out there chilling, eating Chipotle, and I get all these Twitter notifications about people, oh, I missed it. And I was like, wait, what? Missed what? And I was like, oh, there must have been like an extra benefit or an extra credit thing earlier. And then I was like, oh, well, I'll still make it for the halftime show. Come back, and everyone's like, no, there is no halftime thing. And I was like,
Look, I didn't hear that it was going to be halftime. I don't know that they specified. I don't know if they know before. Another thing that Gabe did was he tweeted the link before the advert showed.
oh, we did?
Yeah, like a few seconds before. what's the point of spending $7 million to get a new target market and then you
Yeah.
tweet out the link to the Web3 market? I don't understand. This is mind blowing to me. It was mind blowing before, even if they had a form and collected names and yeah, the chances of. But I mean, this was really really bad. And again, I mean, I'm not happy about it. I love Web3, and here's a company that's trying to move us forward. I just wish it's sort of like the Porsche feeling, the way Porsche rolled out. I
Yeah.
just wish they had chosen a different approach and done it better because it was such an opportunity, such a wasted opportunity.
So here's what I think we can do. So this stream is perfect because I feel like we're saying what needs to be said. The only thing, because we can have an impact on this for sure, like for a fact, because I know I've had a couple of companies reach out that were from the normal world that were really successful, that they saw my random YouTube videos, like got 400 views kind of thing. And it's possible, but like we have to be actually making that content so they're aware of it. I feel like a lot of people on Twitter are screaming and shouting about it, maybe even having, some TikToks or videos. But I feel like if you want these people to see it, I still believe that YouTube might be the best. Like maybe TikTok too, but I still feel like YouTube videos, making a dedicated video. Like yesterday, I filmed one about, and I used the UFC as an example, and I used Rug Radio as an example of a decentralized media ecosystem that everyone is elevated and raised. They all have their own autonomous hosts that do their own thing in the same way that the UFC has their own autonomous athletes. Even though they're all under contract, they all can do their side gigs. They can have their side businesses, but everybody wins. The UFC has this whole inbound of people that, anyways, I made this whole video. And the intention there was to be like, yo, here's an example of how they could do it, blah, blah, blah. But then it was also like, yo, hopefully the UFC or someone who watches the UFC or works the UFC sees this video, gets an idea and says, wait, we haven't thought about it that way. We're actually working on it right now. We've been working on it for 6 months behind the scenes. We should call him and see what else he has to say. I think there's a lot of power in that. And I don't think that they're going to know about it unless we have people like us actually making that content. So for anyone here who's a content creator, I say make that video and just put it out there. Even if it gets 12 views, one of the 12 views might be someone who works at the UFC. So I want these people to see it, and I want Disney to see it. I want Starbucks to see it. So I'm going to be making videos to these companies as well in hopes that they see it. To try and bring a little bit more quality, because yeah, you're right. We've seen a bunch of dud projects from some of the top companies that should not have dud projects. I think they did it too early. And because they did it too early, they also did it wrong. And if they were going to do it early, there's a way that you have to do it. And it's not going to be conducive, or it's not going to be like in line with what they probably should do. But if they're going to be this early, they have to kind of go in with the Web3 mentality of like what Web3 is today. If they want to do what Web3 is going to be in 5 years, that's fine. But they just need to be like more educated on like what's working, what's not, what people like, and where we are at the current state of the NFT market, because there's a certain set of values and things that people are looking for today that they will not be looking for next year when we're here doing this stream in a year from now or 2 years from now. It won't be the same conversations likely. And I just want these companies to like know what's good, because in my personal opinion, there's just no way that like a random PFP project that was started in Web3 with the only benefit of being in there is the fact that it was a Web3 company. But if someone like a Disney or a bigger company comes through, they actually have resources and they actually have a value exchange that people want. Like, for example, if Disney threw an event, people will go because they get the value of it being a Disney event and they like Disney and they have, probably their whole lifetime watching Disney videos, versus a random PFP project that dropped 6 months ago that you spent $150 to mint. There's no thing keeping you there. And so the lifespan of those projects compared to the Disney, compared to the UFC, companies like that, it's just very slim. So if you want to like insert yourself in a good position, you want to obviously have a personal brand, but you want to have a brand where they're like, yo, that person's fucking smart. We need to have a contact with that person. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents for the day. Oh shit. Wait, did Philip pop out? Oh, I thought Philip was just putting me full screen so I could ramble. I think Philip just got rugged, fam. It looks like Cade will be taking over the Web3 show instead of Philip taking over the Web3 show. I guess I'll just keep going with it. But anyways, what I was going with that is that like I still am making the content for the DGens and the people in Web3. Obviously, I'll still make that content. I'm still making a lot of Web3 gaming content, metaverse content, because ultimately the Web3 metaverse, the metaverse is where I want to end up anyway. The metaverse is what I'm most interested in, the VR, the virtual experiences. I want to be part of it. Experiences are where it's at. That's why I want to try. That's where I'm trying to insert myself. So I'm like, okay, which companies are going to put me closer? The UFC, because they partner with Meta, Facebook, because Mark Zuckerberg picked up MMA. He loves MMA. Now they're trying to do UFC VR Meta partnership thing. UFC also partnered with Prime Energy, a content creator brand that was built from Logan Paul and KSI, because it's a really good product. They understand marketing and they're not scared to try something new, even though they know they're going to get fudded to shit for it. The UFC is infamous for saying fuck off and doing whatever they want. And they're so powerful, in fact, that this is not a good, well, actually, this is a bad thing, but they're so decentralized and strong that it doesn't even matter that Dana White, their current founder or the current CEO guy, like literally has like a domestic abuse charge against him from like his family. That whole video is circulating where he hit his wife. A terrible thing. Should have absolutely been probably fired for it, but he wasn't. And it shows the power of the UFC's brand, how decentralized it is. It's like Dana White is neither here nor there. If they fired him, it would be a big deal for a couple of weeks. We'd all move on. It doesn't even matter. Right. Same thing with all the fighters. Conor McGregor leaves. Everyone makes a big deal of it for 2 weeks, and then it's over. You guys remember, you saw the World Cup. Messi. Everyone's talking about it. A week after the World Cup, not a single fucking word about Messi. People forgot about it and they moved on. Everything in the world didn't matter except the World Cup final. And then when it ended, everyone moved on. That's how it works, right? And a decentralized model, that's the future I think we're headed to for business and capitalization. You know, it's not a question of like if, it's a question of when. It's coming. We are in a capitalistic world. People have a capitalistic mindset. Until we get hit with a thing like, I don't know, the AI making this thing where capitalization is now, eradicated from human civilization, we will always be capitalists. That's just how it works because we can. Like when humans can take, they will. And so, yeah. Does he actually own the UFC Crypto Dream? I don't. So that's the thing I don't know. I don't know all the details about that. I'm pretty sure he does own a big stake in it. So that's why he's able to do whatever he wants. But the idea, the fact that like, it's like the narrative, like it's all about the narrative and what people perceive to be the reality, and if you want to have a long career in this world, especially in Web3, metaverse, VR, it's probably not going to be random PFP project. It's probably going to be one of these more legitimate companies, just because they have more funds, they have more money. That's why Cool Man's Universe, I'm investing in that project because they doubled their team in the middle of a bear market. How many companies cut their team in half? And they're like, no, dude, we have a full company, a full brand where TikTok's actual main account posted a video from Cool Man's Universe or from Coffee Man Dan. Like he's a whole ass brand outside of Web3. That's why it makes sense. But anyways, did you get rugged? Is that why he disappeared? I thought you were giving me the mic for a second, and after a minute, I like stopped talking.
I heard. So I could hear everything you were saying, but I couldn't talk. So first of all, I'd like to correct this is not Kate taking over. Although I appreciate Kate so much because if he wasn't with me here, it would just be dead air. And so well done, my brother. So I told you I tried a new thing which I've now swapped back. I do realize what the issue is, and I will be working on it. But look, we're learning. I was very happy with how it was going. So now we're back to the previous camera. But yeah, I did learn a hang of a lot. So that's good. Let's get straight back into it. Thanks, Kate. I appreciate you adjusting. This man is a professional. I'm too big and you too small now. This man is a professional and I love him with all my heart. All right, let's talk about it. So we've got Super Plastic NFT, which I've spoken about quite often. I mean, obviously everything is my opinion and not financial advice, but they're a great Web2 company. They actually the guys that did this Yuga Labs plastic toy that I ended up finally getting after all this time. This is done by
full screen. I can't see anything.
Okay, let me make myself full screen. So tiny. Hold on.
Oh, that's that fucking figurine, dude. I saw that.
Yeah. He's big. He's big, and yeah, man, he's pretty cool. I mean, so this was done by Super Plastic, the Web2 company, Super Plastic. Now I've spoken about them before many times. They've got a very successful Web2 company, and I'm quite bullish on them. And it seems that I'm not the only one who's bullish on them because Amazon has just invested $20 million into Super Plastic. Now, we did cover that Amazon is coming into Web3 a couple of weeks ago, which is really, really bullish. There have been rumors that it's going to be through gaming. There's other rumors that it's through an NFT marketplace, and so on and so forth. But what we do have is that Super Plastic has raised $20 million led by Amazon to make TV shows and more. So it's going to be using Janky and Gugamon. I'm sure you guys have heard of the NFT collection Janky Haze by Super Plastic. But basically, these guys are going to be doing a Web3 TV show with Amazon. And it's another way of Amazon getting into the Web3 space, one of the many ways that they're doing. And I'm sure there'll also be a merch side to it. But yeah, I've been very bullish on Super Plastic for a very, very long time. And yeah, I'm pretty bullish on this news in general.
So, yes, I two things. I'm one breaking news slash alpha. Literally right now, I just got an email from Coinbase saying claim a free NFT and discover Web3 by adding Matic to your Web3 wallet. Get an NFT reward for a limited time only. A special edition NFT.
Don't do it, bro. It could be bullshit as well. It
That's the
could be
thing.
a
So
hack.
I don't know if this is real. It's from info@mail.coinbase.com. There's no spelling errors. Would like to know if anyone else got this email because I assume they sent it to everybody. And would love to know if this is real, because if it is, then I definitely want to claim it. And then also with the Amazon thing, dude, Amazon coming into Web3 space. This is a clear example when people are talking about a lot of people say this on Twitter, which I don't understand because they're literally shooting themselves in the foot. They're like, we need Web3 to be so good that like nobody knows is Web3. I'm like, bro, fucking obviously, yes, the tech needs to be there. But there's so much more to NFTs than just that. Like, of course, there's so much more. That's why we're all here. And to wish that away, I'm like, bro, what are you doing here if you wish that away? If you don't want any of this, then get out. You know, like and especially the gamer, I see so many gamers saying, we need this, we don't need that. I'm like, bro, at what point are you just talking about normal gaming? Like, why are you even in blockchain gaming if you hate everything about it and you hate everything's a terrible L? But Amazon coming in and partnering with these companies and basically giving depth to their brand and offering ways to kind of get people to stay for more reasons than just the value exchange, because the value exchange is there. But what happens when another company comes and offers the exact same value exchange? Then it's going to be about your personal brand and what incentives you offer from an emotional standpoint. And if Amazon has a really cool brand that they've built now with their NFTs and Web3, that's something you're holding on to, because now they have all this value. They continue to innovate every couple of years. They've also got an NFT project with amazing incentives for people who care about that in that sector of the world. And they're going to be building towards the metaverse and all these other things. And I'm sure Amazon will be leading the charge for things that maybe aren't as like fun, but they're doing some really cool things from a tech standpoint. And I don't know, man, I'm really excited. I'm glad these big companies are coming in, dude. It's really fun. It's really fun. And also the amount of companies that have come in after the market has completely tumbled to shit and everyone's still talking shit. And I'm like, bro, the amount of comments I still get from people saying NFTs are dead. And I'm like, yo, y'all really have no idea. Like, y'all really have no idea.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I would be very careful with that Coinbase thing. I do think, when we heard Coinbase was doing NFTs, that was like the most bullish news we ever knew. And, we all did videos on it and it turned out to be a nothing burger. Amazon's coming into Web3. It is massive news. It's probably the biggest news that we've heard in a while. However, execution wise, how long is it going to take? We don't know. The immediate effect, we don't know. But it's just, it's another example. I mean, every week there's another 2-3 massive companies that we cover, just you and I, that are coming head on into Web3. We saw Renault invest $3 billion. That's still the most bullish news I've ever heard in their own industrial metaverse. It's just absolutely crazy. But this Super Plastic brand I've always liked. Obviously not a paid review. They do a lot of these figurines like the one I showed you. I'm trying to get to that place on their website where you can see the physical stuff you can buy, but they're quite cool, and they're already a very successful Web2 company. They've done collabs with Gucci and things like that in the Web2 world. So yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to see a project that I've supported for a very long time and have been quite bullish on. Being here, getting this Alexa Fund 20 million raise with Amazon.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Also, Crypto Dream said he's checking Coinbase, and I don't know what he just sent me, but
Crypto Dream, just don't click anything, please, my brother.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Okay, you shouldn't even mention shit like that on a stream, because we don't know if it's, and usually the way it sounds, it's usually rubbish when it comes from like that.
They've said anything. I don't see anything on Coinbase's official Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just be careful. Don't, Crypto Dream, please don't click anything, brother.
Yeah, be super careful with that.
All right. Then another bullish big Web2 brand, we've got Puma. Puma's already been in the space. They haven't been doing much. They had their Nitro Pass. We'll go have a look at it. They've had that for quite a while sitting there. Me, I'm a very, very big Clone X Nike believer in Web3. And then, Adidas, I still hold my PFP of the Adidas 1 and 2. So Puma in my mind has always been number 3 as far as Web2 clothing brands that are in Web3. Because if you just look at the market cap of Nike versus the market cap of Adidas versus Puma, it goes in that order. Nike's the biggest, then Adidas, and quite a far way down is Puma. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't, overtake Adidas. Puma can't overtake Adidas and Nike in Web3. It's unlikely that they're going to overtake them in Web2, but nice to see that they're coming out with an NFT collection specifically for the 75th anniversary. It's going to be this old character of theirs that used to be their character in an old series, which is quite cool. I always like nostalgia in the Web3 space. And this guy that you're looking at, he was first published in Super Puma Comics in the 70s. So I always like that. You know me, I'm a collector at heart, and I like to see when brands are embracing that side of it. It's going to be a 10,000 collection. 4,000 is going to be airdropped to people who own the Puma Nitro NFT, which we'll go look at now. Another 2,000 is going to be airdropped to the 10KTF community, which is quite bullish because that means that there's something going on between Puma and 10KTF. And then 4,000 will be available to the public through a whitelist, right? So that's the basic facts about this. And yeah, just an interesting one to see.
Yes. I love that as well. I love the little character that they have. I think that's fucking awesome, actually. Taking some notes from VeeFriends, it seems like. But 10K, that's interesting. I wonder, Huma.
That is interesting.
That's very interesting. I'm not sure. Do you have any thoughts on like what that potentially could be?
My initial feeling would be something to do with, that Puma, that 10KTF has got their store where you can do backpacks and stuff like that, or shoes or caps with NFTs on. Maybe they've done a deal together where after they launch this collection, Wagmi-san will open the shop to allow some merch with their new Super Puma logo on. That would be my inkling, but I have no knowledge of it whatsoever, and I don't know, but that would be my inkling.
Yeah, I can't think of one. I don't know what it would be. If anyone has any thoughts on that, definitely let us know, because I do not have anything. Also, I see Janik saying don't have anything in emails on the Coinbase app.
Here's the whitelist, guys. If you want to join up, you go to puma.eth. So let's just show you over here. It's just at Puma. So the thing I'm looking at, people can put any name they want at top, but you want it to be at Puma is the thing that matters, and it's got a gold tick, right? And if you go there, there's a thread about this drop, and you'll see here, I'm discovering it with you. As you scroll down within that thread, there's links to the whitelist raffle as well as the Nitro collection, which we're going to look at, but I actually haven't entered this, so I want to do that. So let's do that. Okay, we got to follow them on Twitter, so let's do that.
And their mint price, I don't know if you said this, but their mint price is 0.15 ETH.
Yeah, so I am following them already. We're going to retweet this. Now, there is a problem that when I join a Discord, when I'm streaming, my audio gets messed up. But I'm going to do it. So if it gets messed up, I'm sorry. Once it gets unmessed up, I'll come back. Kate, let me know when I start sounding funny.
I will.
Wait for it. As Discord opens,
it's going to happen.
You'll see now. It's like I can take the 10th helium.
Hey!
And then you'll see I start
there it
like
is.
a bit of a helium guy. Give it a second. It's going to go crazy. Has it gone crazy yet?
Still shit.
Yeah,
got shit about ago.
That's what happens. Okay, so am I already in? I'm already in. All right, so let's see if I say click to register. Let's see what happens. And let it check everything. Boom, registered. Let's close Discord. And hopefully within a few seconds, my sound will come back.
Where did you find
How's
that?
my sound there, Kate?
Where it's good. It's good. Where did you find that pre-mint link you said?
So it's on Puma's page, and then they've got this tweet. It says, "We're proud to celebrate our 75th anniversary," and then it's a thread. And then about 5 down into there, you'll see it's got the official waitlist raffle. And then here's the Nitro collection, which guarantees you whitelist, sitting at 0.44. That's way, way up. So obviously, I'm not, some people have you can see here the last couple of days has really, really gone up. They were
Also,
sitting
you
at
need to have
zero
0.05
point 0.1.
ETH in your wallet, by the way. For people who did not know, you need 0.05 ETH in your wallet at the time that you sign this thing. So, or like the time
I
that you,
actually like that. That okay, that helps a hang of a lot, bro, with
yeah,
bots.
it's
That
true.
really,
It's true.
really helps.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, so I mean that's really quite bullish. In general, look, a 10,000 collection in this market, even if you are Puma, is quite a lot. In my mind, yes, there have been the sum of the blue chips pumping, but overall, that volume is all going to the big couple of collections. There's not much happening everywhere else. So yes, there are opportunities with the bigger collections, and one or two mints here and there that are really taking off. But for the most part, the market, to me, it's just my own feeling, is still very, very depressed and very, very down.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say, speaking of whitelists and like getting into these things, Seedify has an NFT coming out very soon. And the annoying thing about their project is you have to buy it with their SNFTs, which is like their coin or whatever. And I was able to do it. I got whitelisted through the Doge Pounds, but there's a big opportunity for you guys who, if you guys know, Seedify is a massive, massive platform, but they are having a drop coming in like 3 days, but you can still enter that. There's also quite a few communities that have been able to get whitelisted. Just check out the communities that you think might have access to it, that are part of like Seedify's thing. And they have a drop coming out soon, which is gonna be really cool. The mint's like $200. I expect it'll do well. They just did a whole AMA with Champ, and it got like 1,000 people in there. So we'll see how it does. But it just kind of came to my mind of other things happening. But the Puma thing's cool, dude. I can't believe their thing pumped to 0.44. So it looks like people have forgotten about how shitty the first round was, and they're like, "Fuck it, Puma's gonna win this time."
So look, the interesting thing about Puma is in my opinion, their Web3 rollout hasn't been as bad as Adidas,
Sure.
to be quite honest. I mean, you were able at least to claim your shoes from Puma for free. I mean, even Nike charged you for those, right? So Puma's actually, they've done pretty well in my opinion, considering. I mean, they way in Web2, they way under Nike and Adidas. But in Web3, they definitely doing, in my mind, a bit better than Adidas. So interesting. I am still getting used to this.